everyone, and welcome back to the Code Green Tournament. We are underway here with Gramercy Rips up against Moonrunners. This is going to be the first round of 8 matchup for the day. Of course, I'm joined today by Squidish. How you doing, man?
I am pretty good. Athena gets left on the table. Athena gets first pick. That just seems to be how life happens. And the picking phase of Smite bands going out. Zeus, Mercury, Agni, Chang'e. Pretty standard, but Agni getting thrown in there is a little bit interesting. That doesn't happen too terribly often.
Well, I mean, he's always good. It's not that he's not a bad ban, it's just there seems to be a lot more other characters banned out. Chang'e, since the change, has gotten a little bit more powerful depending on how you look at it. She's definitely more aggressive and definitely more defensive there with the 2 being activatable, and also has a shorter activation window. So now Athena's going to be first picked here for Gramercy. It looks like they're going to be putting that one forward. Amuzen Cobb hovered on here. A little bit interesting since the changes he's received. He's not really as reliable as he used to be. All of his damage numbers went down, and his hives are very few and far between.
It's definitely not in the world's best place right now compared to any of the other carries. They can all pretty much put out a lot more damage than he can, more reliably and more safely, because he's the only carry that has literally nothing to get away with. Even Artemis can pop Tusky and run for her life with CC immunity. Muzen can just flap away and say, please don't kill me. I guess the hive speed buff is the closest he gets. With the Chang'e changes recently, she actually got banned out almost every single match in the NA tournament today. So Chang'e, apparently with a change to her 3, has become a lot more powerful.
Yeah, I mean, the extra damage that she's had, that's one of the biggest things that she really, missed out on, is the fact that most of her sustained damage is from her 1. She threw that out consistently and often, but it just wasn't enough to finish people off, and often she'd have to chase someone down for long periods of time across plains and fields, trying to throw out that 1 and possibly the ultimate to finish them off. Now, is a little bit more damage there on her 3, able to get some more chunking down. And since that, not only that, does she have her built-in Aegis Amulet, the ultimate that can stun for probably the longest stun in the entire game. She has a lot going for her, and something that, a lot of people seem to overlook. And since it's changed, people are starting to pick her up more often now. Neith and Zhang Kui selected here for Moonrunners. See if they want to push that forward. Looks like Zhang Kui will go into the mid lane. Depending on what they pick last, Guan Yu will either be a solo laner or a jungler. It can go both routes. Freya can be selected here as well as Hercules. A very strange lineup so far from Gramercy. Hercules and Amuzen Cobb we really don't see all that often, and Freya occasionally.
Freya's still a very powerful jungler who can box anybody ever late game. She can build up so much damage that she does not care who she's up against. She will walk up to your face and she will melt you and you will die because she is Freya. She's strong, she's just not quite as popular as some other options for the jungle role. Last pick here coming in, we have the Noodle, the Ao Kuang, the dragon champion of hitting you for 1700 damage with his ultimate. Very, also powerful late game.
Ao Kuang, mid laner, could also be a solo laner, but Zhang Kui, since he's on the team, will be pushed over to the solo lane. Most likely, Guan Yu put him in the jungle. I mean, like you said, Ao Kuang has a lot of damage. Zhang Kui has a lot of damage. Guan Yu, a lot of damage. Neith, great at shutting down kills early on, and Sobek also very good at versatility as well as going around, initiating, tanking, being in the phase, disruption. And they have a really strong lineup on Moonrunners. Gramercy Rifts, comparatively a little bit weaker. You look at the kills here, Athena, always good. Athena is always a great support tank to have, no matter what you're doing or where you're going. You do actually see a legendary Hercules selected here for Sir Bale, so Bale forced that out into the solo lane. Freya most likely going into the jungle here, like you mentioned. Very, very strong pickup there, and something that, if scaled up quickly enough in the mid-game, Freya is terrifying. So they have a lot of damage available for Gramercy Rifts, but comparatively, their team fight is not as strong as Moonrunners, and so Gramercy Rifts is going to have to focus on early game farm and making it to the mid and late game where we can start dishing out that high damage number with the Hebo and the Freya. Amuzen Cobb as well can still scale very, very well. And since his bees got nerfed, his overall ability damage is lower, but now his basic attacks have always been great. That's something he's going to rely on more often. We'll see how that works out in the game. We'll cut to a brief break, guys, and wait for the spectator delay to go on through, and we'll see you in the match. We'll bring it up on screen when it's ready to go. Thank you for tuning in today, and definitely don't forget to donate to the Divine Intervention charity event. We'll see you soon. Hey! Everyone, and welcome back to Gramercy Rip versus Moonrunners. This is going to be the first round of 8 matchup for the day. This is a single elimination best of 1 matchup, and whoever wins here will move on to the semifinals to compete for their chance to win it all for the gems and the glory. Joining me today is going to be Squidish Anything stick out to you?
Well, Neith is going full ham immediately, starting not even with boots, but just with a Heartseeker and a Death's Toll. The come at me, bro loadout. Ready for action and ready for battle. Only other thing here I see it's not totally standard is Hercules starting shield because he knows he's up against a magical solo laner. It's something that we've seen more and more commonly the last couple weeks. If you're a warrior and you know you're going to be up against a mage, the shield starting solo lane every now and then comes up. Sometimes they just say screw it and go Tabi, but today it's shield.
Yeah, we've seen shield pop up here and there, and it seems to be somewhat effective in certain situations and not very effective in others, and you really have to pick your battles there. Now, going up against a mage is really important, and we've actually seen shields lock in without a doubt if you have a magical jungle and a magical solo, which does tend to happen there. So we're going to see a physical solo magical jungle, or physical jungle magical solo there across the way, so he's going to have to deal with that one. But again, Hercules is a very naturally tanky person, and he can deal with that kind of harassment quite easily. Left side lane, we see live Lunatic as well as Wolfiedurus on Athena and Almuz Cobb. Going to go over to left lane after clearing out the blue buff. Neith and Sobek a little bit late after helping out with the mid camps. Look at the graph so far, a little bit of lead here for Gramercy Rifts as far as how they hold onto the jungle camps, but it seems like as the buffs are being cleared out, it's going right into Moonrunner's favor as Hebo gets pushed back in the mid lane.
Kind of slap each other a bit with this Hebo Ao Kuang engagement, but Ao Kuang actually getting the better end of this, which is a bit interesting because in the mid lane, one of the big advantages Hebo has is his harassment and his ability to poke so hard. But Ao Kuang out-poking him pretty effectively so far, making sure that he's relatively low on health. Got him down to about half at one point there before he's already popped his healing potion in order to just maintain in the lane. And now he's already popped his mana potion as well. So Hebo already completely out of potions, just trying to stand up to this Ao Kuang in the mid lane.
Yeah, having a lot of trouble there, and Hebo generally has less push than other characters do, and he has a lot of trouble dealing with that. He's more of a harassment character and tries to go for kills in the mid lane, trying to establish dominance, which is not really being aggressive enough. In fact, he's yet to hit the Ao Kuang and push him back away. Tornado's going to clear out this wave, and again, Hebo is facing down 3 ranged minions by himself, so he can get something accomplished there. Freya in the jungle going to go up. Guan Yu is on his way here. This may be a possible engagement. Water Spout comes out. Water Cannon is available. Stacked up passive. Ao Kuang gets the Tornado and the slow. This might be a dead Hebo. One more basic attack should be enough to do it. The Tornado not going to finish him off there. And they're going to get the Tornado. Guan Yu comes in. There is the Towel Assault. And that will be enough as Guan Yu just backs off from the very angry Freya. And that is why I play so much Ao Kuang. I could tell that was one basic attack away.
It was so very close. Freya, almost the savior of humanity, did what she could right there, just didn't have quite enough. She couldn't save him from the Guan Yu that was rotating around, obviously. Actually did manage to save him from the Ao Kuang. That was an impressive save. Unfortunately, your save extended his lifespan by approximately 4 seconds, so not really the world's most important save.
Left side, you see the hives coming up here from Moose and Cobb. Very weak and frail, but he's trying to hide those away. Needs to be in line of sight. Charge Prey goes on Athena. Does she have a dash? Looks like she should have one to get out there as you try to poke that one down. Neith's going to do some basic attacks on the backside. Not going to be able to get anything across the way into the mid lane. You see Hebo getting pushed back yet again. Both level 5 now, but Hebo a little bit behind in experience here. 2,500 gold for Hebo. Ao Kuang is boasting 2,484. So actually, because of that kill, Hebo is now ahead in gold, a little bit behind in experience. And if you can start getting some kills on Ao Kuang, which Hebo is very adept at, he might actually pull ahead in this lane.
Definitely, the longer this lane goes on, the more it's going to be a good matchup for Hebo, because Hebo's weakness in lane is his early game. Like you said, he has difficulty with pushing and clearing early on, but as he levels up, as he gets more gold, he is going to have ease clearing waves. And although obviously Ao Kuang is the easiest wave clear in the history of the known universe, Hebo will clear waves effectively enough that it's not going to matter to him at all, because both of them are going to have an even time clearing waves. And then Hebo's advantage in harassment and getting kills is really going to be what matters.
Each same is going to be super important as well, avoiding the Ao Kuang ultimate and the Hebo ultimate. Zhonghui popping his ultimate in the right side lane, avoiding the harassment coming out from Hercules and healing himself up quite effectively here. Left lane, Almuz and Cobb out of HP. Mid lane, diving top of the Hebo. There's Ao Kuang ultimate. There goes the Neith ultimate as well. Throwing him up into the air will be Guan Yu. He's going to get picked off immediately got knocked away from that one. Here comes the Freya ultimate, the taunt from Athena. The shield wall's on the ground, not going to land though, needs a few basic attacks. The tail whip comes through. One tornado will come down on top of the Freya. Sobek by himself, he's not level 5 yet, cannot lurk in the waters, and he's going to take some gumballs to the face and retreat back towards his tower as Freya gets a free mid camp after losing Ao Kuang and Guan Yu for Hebo. And you can see the graph will reflect exactly that. Gramercy Rifts in the lead.
Freya right now activating Domination Station. All 3 kills from the team are on Freya. So jungle powers activate. And this is really, really good for Gramercy. Just because Freya, like we were saying, is such a powerful god. She's by no means weak early and mid game, but she is extremely strong late game. And the quicker they can get her fed, the quicker they can get her decent item build going, the quicker she's going to be able to insta-vape people before they can even react, which is what she's working to pretty quickly.
She does have the Shoes of the Magi here, able to get some more penetration on top of that. Shoes almost done for Hebo. In fact, she's the only one on our team who has boots finished. Hercules has yet to go home. He is just sitting on tier 1 shield, just harassing the right side lane, hanging out, doing nothing else. He's having a grand old time over here. Ao Kuang going to push up the right side of the jungle, trying to find out that Hebo going to get the blue buff and give it to the Zhong Kui. We have Heartseeker finished off on Nishi, rushed that one up. Amuzen Cobb going to go for boots this time around, trying to finish those off first. The hive goes down, another hive gets placed down, that hive will go down as well. In 16 seconds from now, a third hive will go down, and thus is the issue with the new Amuzen Cobb.
The life of the bee man, you just don't really get hives anymore. And it's kind of difficult if you don't have extreme lane dominance to where you can keep your hives alive. There's not a whole lot you can do. You lose these hives, they go down, you have a 16-second cooldown, they cost you a ton of mana. They don't even give you as much benefit as they used to. I mean, the nerf was massive to Muzen, and after that Spirit Arrow there, he's going to lose about a third of his health to harass him from Neath there. Athena pushing her face in here, saying hello to Ao Kuang, who's going to drop a Mighty Storm that finds nobody but Athena, who doesn't care a terrible amount about the damage she's taking there. She's just going to head back over to lane.
Freya going to go over the right side. The left side lane might have an opportunity for a gank on top of Amuzen Cobb, dropping very low. Here's the taunt coming out as well. Charge Spray not going to land, blocked by Athena. The Stinger's on the ground. Athena going to zone out the Neath here. Can she get a kill? There is the Lurking the Water, slowing him down. Neath ultimate right in place. Shield wall's going to be there. She's going to stand it. No! Barely gets out. The taunt comes out late. Reach is going to hit. One more basic attack. Can she get it? No! The charge hits the Sobek, and Sobek with fantastic blocking will keep Neath alive, and Athena will die for her greed. As we said, 3-3, tied up in kills, but still a slight lead for Gramercy Rifts.
Very slight bit of lead nonetheless, and something that they are going to be trying to work to maintain now, because it is definitely on the downfall after that pickup in the left lane. Sobek, like you said, doing a great job of being a tank, being in the way, and being obstructive. Now we're seeing Freya show up, trying to get a gank here, but Hercules driving Strike Zhong back into his own tower. Not that it really matters because Giant Rock says die. It doesn't really matter where you are when Hercules can just rip a giant death rock out of the ground and hit you in the face with it.
Yeah, he just kind of throws that one out there. It's an easy grab for him. He's just going to shoot it out. We have Amuzen Cobb in the left lane. Zhong Kui will go down 4-3 in favor of Gramercy Rifts. The jungle buffs are being cleared out now. A lot of wards being placed down on top of the Gold Fury as Athena tries to dive the left lane yet again, but Neath reacts very quickly to it. Going to back off here. Taunt not going to do a whole lot. Hebo diving the mid lane, go after the Ao Kuang. Looks like he's lagging out, unfortunately enough. Hebo will fall to a lag loss. Freya backing up here in the mid lane. It's really unfortunate to see that happen.
Yeah, that was what looked like it was about a good setup for a gank. Freya was rotating around. Muzen and Sobek also here as well, but then Hebo with the internet issues there, unfortunately unable to really do anything. Freya pretty low right now, down to about a quarter HP. Muzen's going to spray down the honey just to hold everybody back and make sure it's difficult for them to push through and finish off any kills. Make sure Freya's protected, but she's not going to go home. She's going to push up and clear out this wave and defend the tower. Freya the Fearless here at about a quarter HP, making sure the tower is safe before she is.
Yeah, make sure that tower doesn't go down. Towers are so very important, especially in the new meta where the kills just aren't as valuable as they used to be. It's all about pushing and getting lots of farm in the jungle, maintaining the side camps, the jungle buffs, killing those on cooldown, getting gold theories whenever possible. Right side lane, we see Hercules driving strike right through the Zhong Kui. And Zhong Kui's having a tough time with this. Given the fact that that shield is now completed, went for the runic shield to give him increased protections, it's tough for him to be able to get any damage through Hercules, especially since if he tries to just burst through the shield, Mitigate wounds is going to bring him right back up to full. So not a whole lot of kill opportunities here for Zhang. He's just farmed this one out and wait for mid-game where his team shows up. He'll shut down the Hercules. And you know what's really so terrifying about this is Hercules getting fed early means that the team fight front line will always be there as long as Hercules is alive.
Freya coming in for a gank here, going in on the Neith. Neith dropping down just for the stun on the ultimate. She changes her attention to Sobek, and down goes the Sobek. Now the ultimate bombing Neith down to about a third of her HP. So she hurt a lot, but just not quite enough to actually pick up the kill there. The question is, are they going to get any real opportunity to finish this off? Neith is still there. She hasn't gone home. She's hanging out in tower relatively low, but in right lane, Guan Yu's rotating over, coming out of the jungle, not even going for a gank on the Hercules, just making his presence known and dropping a heal on Zhonghui, making sure to keep him alive and safe.
And he will survive for the time being. Freya's going to find Ao Kuang here. There's the banish, the rotation coming from the Athena. Will the taunt come out? There's the taunt. Shield wall on the ground a little bit late. Tornado on the ground. Some gumballs coming through. Ao Kuang ultimate will smash Athena into the dirt. And Ao Kuang is going to noodle away, being just fine. Lunatic looks like he wants to go for this one, but Sobek's only going to be too much. Guan Yu ultimate coming through as well. Tallow Assault on top of it. Athena already dead. Now going after Freya, who does not have an ultimate at this point in time. Great banish will buy him some time. Sobek looking for the kill, not going to get it. And since they decided to focus for them, they're not going to find anyone else in the jungle as Amuzin Cobb disappears into the sunset right as they turn the corner.
Hebo ultimate doing almost nothing to Guan Yu. Guan Yu able to just eat that on the chin and not even flinch, doing less than a quarter of his HP. Surprisingly low, considering he doesn't have any sort of physical protection whatsoever other than his natural built-in being Guan Yu, which gives him a decent amount of protection, but still, I would think he'd be taking a lot more damage from a Hebo ultimate than that. I'm not positive. That one's a bit surprising for me. But nothing really happening in the mid lane after Athena gets flattened by the Ao Kuang ultimate of Nope. Like we were talking about before the game, that ultimate, just the raw damage it can lay down is so high. It can flatten tanks like nothing.
Sobek getting caught out here. The bees on the ground. Neith will buy some time. Tornado will zone them out, and Sobek will be just fine here. Great team support coming out from Neith and Ao Kuang, able to zone them out, and Sobek escapes yet again. Amuzin Cobb might not be in the same boat though as the slow comes out. Tornado's going to be avoided. No, he walks back into it. Going to take about half his HP, but without Kuang going for the Void Stone right now, not a whole lot of damage being brought out just yet. Hercules and Zhonghui still going head to head over here. They both have teleports, so not really going to be anything happening over there for some time until a gank comes along, but they're both very naturally tanky here. And the jungle see Hebo push up the mid lane now, take out these side camps in the mid lane as well. Ao Kuang on his way over has great vision to cover this up. The Squall's going to get both of them. Ao Kuang just easily taking things away. The Athena gank on top of him turns into a kill, and now he's just going to take some mid harpies for funsies.
He does what he pleases. He's Ao Kuang at this point. He's 2 levels ahead of the enemy Hebo. He's a bit more farmed up, about 600 gold actually ahead of the Hebo. So he's got a decent advantage right now, and he's pretty much got room to do what he wants. As he starts to get built up, like you see, he doesn't have the Void Stone finished quite yet. But he's getting to that point now where he does crazy amounts of damage. So one Squall is easily capable of doing things like stealing both of the Mid Furies. One of his Storms is going to shred off half of a carry's health. His ultimate is going to destroy people. He's getting to that point where it's difficult to engage him without some sort of CC or way to just burst him down and prevent him from shredding someone's health bar.
Gonna bring him back here. Amuzin Cobb in the left lane to throw out that swarm, clear out the wave, and get some stacks up here onto his life. Going with the boots there, they actually have the very tanky, or very non-tanky build on Athena, but a lot of gold to be gained there and going to pay out in the mid stages. We see Neith now finishing off her boots as well for that penetration on top of the Heartseeker. No deaths yet, so fully stacked up on the Heartseeker as well as lots of penetration and damage output across the way. So Neith is getting into a pretty good, comfortable position right now. 5,300 gold for Neith. Looks like across the way, Amuzin Cobb's going to be at 4,800, so about a 600 gold, 500 gold differential between the two. So the Hunter definitely goes in favor of Moonrunners right now. As far as the junglers go, Guan Yu sitting at 5,600 gold versus Freya's 5,900, so a 300 gold differential there. Jumping down to Sobek in the left lane. There goes the Swarm. Shield wall up on the ground. See if they can get this one through. At the end, trying to poke him down. Neith ultimate actually is available if she wants to use it. Athena coming through is going to be enough to save. No, Athena ultimate not going to save that one well. It looks like that's going to be just fine. Ao Kuang comes through. Freya's here as well. Guan Yu about half HP. Ao Kuang ultimate's going to hit Freya as she goes up into the air, and as she lands, she will be falling down. Not enough damage as the basic attack finishes him off there. Dashing away will be Guan Yu. So what looked to be an initiation for Gramercy Rifts turns around for a 0-for-2 exchange in favor of Moonrunners, and now the graph is in the red.
Moonrunners taking their first real lead of the game, snatching it away when Gramercy's had it almost all day long. They had a little tiny bit in the very beginning when everything was just kind of settling around, but now they've gotten themselves about a 500 gold advantage. So, I mean, it's not a big lead, but it's an actual lead they might be able to hang on to for a little while. It's something they can work on building up. But the main thing is the momentum has shifted after those 2 free pickups. The first real big rotation, the first what you could start to call a team fight happening over there in the left lane, and Moonrunners, despite the fact they're down in gold and a little bit down in items, and outnumbered in the beginning of it, ends up managing to take 2 kills and lose nobody. And now Hebo's in a lot of trouble in the mid lane. He's going to go down as well. That Storm just chunking his health off. Could not get out of it fast enough to get that dot off. Just doing way too much damage, especially when combined with Guan's Taolu Assault, shredding off his protections.
Bit enemy jungle slow on top of Freya, going to take a tornado here. Alquan might want to force this one back. Now jumping on top of the Athena as well as the AMC. There goes the Swarm coming out as well. The slow Alquan ultimately going to pancake him into the ground as the Stinger comes out. Sobek's going to eat a rock and Driving Strike will come through. Neath ultimate coming out. Looks like it's not going to be necessary as the Squall finishes off the Freya there. And now Hercules running towards his tower's going to be just fine. But poor Athena, 3-man rotation. There's the slow. There is the card. There is the stun and a dead Athena. Hercules coming back in. He's not really too worried. Junkwei ultimate will recall all those demons he had stored up in his bag and force Hercules back, but it's all said and done. A 3-for-1 exchange in favor of Moonrunners right now, and that's going to push the graph further down. 1,000 gold lead, 5,600 experience as the left tower gets pressured.
As we transition to team fights, it definitely doesn't seem like things are going Gramercy's way right now. Moonrunner's going to take that and try to turn it into a Gold Fury. Guan Yu forced to switch the aggression over to Zhang Kui because he's taking a lot of damage here. I can't see any way Gramercy's really going to show up, and no, they can't. They can't even contest this Gold Fury right now. That's another big free bucket of gold for Moonrunner, who is now almost 2,500 gold up. 11-6 on the kill board. They've taken a pretty solid advantage now. As we move in here, it's going to come down to Gramercy to try to pull together and kind of get on the same page, because so far in the group fights, Moonrunner's got the solid advantage.
They certainly do, and they want to keep on to that advantage as long as they possibly can. Earthbreaker come through here, Tornado doing damage across the board. Hercules not really caring too much. Mitigate wounds going to heal him right back up. Mid tower took some harassment there, but the minions will end up falling. 11-6 right now. 16.5 minutes into this game. Moonrunners, like we've been mentioning, are in the lead, especially after that Gold Fury paying out in droves. You see a big disjoint leap in that graph now. 2,500 gold in the lead. Athena, Freya, and Amuzin Cobb over in the left side lane, seeing if they can't push this up. Surprisingly enough, we haven't had any towers taken down just yet, Squid.
Yeah, nobody's tier 1 has fallen, and we're going on 17 minutes in the game right now. Honey going down for Muzin Cobb, but at this point doesn't do any damage to Sobek. He absolutely doesn't care at all. Left lane right now looks like it's going to be the close candidate for the first tower to go down. The tower in left lane for Gramercy is down to about a quarter. It's relatively low. Their mid tower is down to a little over half as well, so either of those could easily be the first to fall. But we've got a pretty decent amount of time without anyone really setting up for a push. It's been a lot of grouping around, trying to get fights, and one Gold Fury is really all we've seen so far.
Yeah, that Gold Fury, of course, a lot of team fights and engagements, like you mentioned. I mean, a lot of kills will pay out. And I think it's just a lot of fundamentals as well. They're just getting more buff camps. They're getting more mid camps. They're getting more, lane pushes, minion kills. Diving here on top of Athena. Athena not tanky at all, being shredded. Neath ultimate. Horus on top, of course. And she goes on down. Right there, you're going to see the biggest weakness with the Athena build that she's running right now. Lunatic caught out here. Each Shaman not going to save him. He will fall down to the Neath kill as well. But again, you see the downfall of the Watcher's Gift Midas Boots combination. You're just not tanky enough on the defensive to survive that. And right there, she just gets absolutely shredded by Guan Yu, who does have Jotun's Wrath as well as the Warrior Tabi, bringing down her protections to 0.
Left lane having a lot of trouble and just getting shredded right now. Freya teleports over to try and keep this tower alive. Gets immediately thrown by Sobek into a Spirit Arrow by Neath, but they're trading here. Freya's chunking Neath very hard. Goes up into the ultimate, landing 3 Aegis on the 4th shot. Neath is going to stay alive, but that effort is not going to be enough to save the tower, as while they fought, the minions finished it off. And down goes the first tower dispatch. Meanwhile, in mid lane, Hebo getting Taolu'd with a storm on him again. The same fate he has met so many times this game. Guan Yu just ripping his protections off, and the mighty storm just destroying his soul.
So much damage available for Ao Kuang if he gets all the right conditions met there. And Hebo certainly knows that better than most in this game. Right side, we see Zhang Kui going to get rotated on by Hercules, both very tanky right now. Hercules ended up finishing off his Warrior Tabi for the CDR, and then went straight into the Jotun's Wrath. Across way, Zhang Kui will have his Shoes of Focus into the Focus Void Stone. A very common solo magic build. Gets the CDR, gets the penetration, gets the magic protection, the magic damage, and then kind of just sits on it and is very comfortable in that situation. Subek rotates to the left lane, some pings coming out. Gold Fury will be responding in a minute and 21 seconds. As you can see in the top left-hand corner of the screen, Zhang Kui actually did go for sprint, surprisingly enough, to combo with his ultimate, able to get in position and out of position as much as he possibly can. King Taco on Freya has the Demonic Grip finish and now about to finish Hasten Fatalis, I would suspect, and at that point, he's going to be very, very hard to get away from.
The Squall from Ao Kuang taking about 20% of Freya's health away. Of course, that's a 6-level difference between Freya and Ao Kuang. Ao Kuang very, very large right now with 9,500 gold. 1,000 more than the second most farmed person in the lobby, who is the Freya. 1,000 gold and 6 levels. Mid tower goes down as Moonrunner just groups up and pushes through, and here comes the big fight. The ultimate vaporizing Freya. Hercules Rock coming out as well, though, doing a lot of burst damage but not picking up any kills. Sobek's getting relatively low. Lurking in the waters, chunks Hercules and Amuzen pretty well, but he's just going to trade his life for a bit of damage. They can't quite get the damage on his Hebo to finish it as he picks up the Guan Yu, almost runs into the storm and dies, but decides not to with the last second, and a driving strike from Hercules will finish off that Ao Kuang. So they got the tower, but ended up with a 3-for-1 trade, only able to pick up Freya while losing everyone but Zhang Kui and Neith.
He would definitely decided not to go to that tornado there and end up falling. Neith going for a lot of attack speed here with the Asi into the Rage build. Could be a Malice, could be a Rage. They're very equivalent as far as the effectiveness of those items, depending on what character you are. But on equal footing, they're very, very similar items here. So depending on what she wants to go with, it won't make too much of a difference. But again, a big win. Actually, pretty even between the teams there. Gramercy Ref finally getting some kills on the board. Ao Kuang going down was a big pickup. Ao Kuang now does have that Polynomicon finish. So Polynomicon will come out here and fight for glory. See if we can't get some more kills on top of the 9 and 3 he's already boasting to his team. And of course, Gramercy Rift is very aware of that. 9 to 15 here, 21.5 minutes into this game. Moonrunners is still ahead, but Gramercy Rifts is showing signs of life.
Moonrunner definitely doing a better job in the mid game than they were early on. It seemed like they were struggling at first, but they've come back full tilt now. Right lane, Zhang Kui popping sprint just to get away from Hercules. Does not want to play with the beef castle right now. Doesn't want to deal with that. Just wants to go back to his tower and hang out and be Zhang Kui. Athena over here just kind of dancing in the face of all the Moonrunner players, but no one really available to go in on her right here because she's getting tanky at this point. She's got breastplate finished. She's level 13 as of literally right now. She's got enough innate protections naturally that she'll be able to withstand most of the attacks the enemies throw at her. No one wants to waste their time just hammering it away at a basically invulnerable Athena.
Oh, well, they're going to do exactly that in left lane as they slow her down. Here comes the Guan Yu ult, and Sobek ultimate. Athena will go down here, guaranteed. Not tanking enough. Neith comes through with the ultimate, slowing down Amuzen Cobb, but no opportunity for a kill there as they try to force this one back. Hive on the ground. We see Hebo in the jungle here. Going to try and push this one away. Banish coming out, sending a message across the way. Or maybe just put up the Christmas lights a little bit early here as we're still in November. Hercules coming down the mid lane, going back into the jungle. The Gold Fury is up and available. Looks like Sobek's actually going to start it for Moonrunners and Gramercy Rifts. I don't know if they have enough to try and contest this here. In fact, I think they should just let this one go.
It looks like they're going to try. Gold Fury actually did get leashed just by their presence. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. But now Moonrunner's still here. Hercules misses his pull. The Banish comes out hitting only Zhang Kui, who pops his ult, and the whole team turns around to go in on Freya, and she's dead. There was a Freya, and then there wasn't. Everybody turned around, devoured her. Now they're going to go in on Athena. Ao Kuang Ultimate's going to finish her off and also chunk about half of Hebo's HP. A great Hebo Ultimate, doing a ton of damage, but he will fall in exchange. Losing Cobb down as well. Hercules trying to pick something up, but there he goes in what was a 5-for-1 trade. The Dia side giving up only Sobek, and now that's going to be a free Gold Fury.
Poor Athena dies in the left lane, respawns, ults into the Gold Fury, and dies immediately again. That was effectively a 6-for-1 exchange plus Gold Fury for Moonrunners as Athena died twice right before that engagement. And then in the engagement itself, you can see that reflected on the graphs. 8,000 gold in favor of Moonrunners right now. It's almost 14,800 experience. This left side tower will tack on another 1,500 gold to the run. That will put it up to 9,700 gold. As you can see on the charts already updated. A big lead, 21-10 right now for Moonrunners, and it comes down to those mid-game engagements on top of the Gold Fury. You saw them just fall down one by one, and that didn't seem to be that great of an engagement for Gramercy Rifts, but they want to contest it anyway, and I think 1,500 gold for the Gold Fury, is it worth losing a team fight for at this stage, given the fact that they're so far behind already?
Yeah, and Moonrunner definitely played it carefully with that one, leashing the Gold Fury, waiting for the huge fight to be over, and then pushing it and taking it afterwards. Although there was some great play by Gramercy there, that Hebo ult in particular went through 4 members of Moonrunner, doing massive damage. Now Athena's trying to ult it on the Hebo, but I guess she's just going to get deposited in mid lane. Freya's out by herself once again here, but Sobek flips her back into her team. Not a particularly glorious call there. Ult coming out from Zhonghui and Hebo. The Ghosts are laying down the damage. Now they're trying to finish off this Hebo. The Rock comes out from Hercules dropping Zong very low, trying to run away, but no one's able to finish him off there. Freya does get taken down. Zhong goes into tower and just gets destroyed with basically no help. Hercules drops as well, though, and it looks like absolutely going to have Muzin going down here. So that's 3 for 1 so far. The only death being Zhong, who walked in the tower with basically no help. Just kind of walked into a fight he really had no place in. And now we have the 4-man death squad of Moonrunner. That looked like they don't want to push no Phoenix with this low of HP.
They're going to clear out the jungle here instead. That Phoenix does stand for the time being. 1 tier 2 tower left to be gained up by Moonrunners, but they have a lot to do here. They can go for Fire Giant, they can steal away buffs, they can steal away camps, they can get map control secured. And you can see on the right side of the map here, Squid, 2 wards placed down on the far sides of the enemy jungle. Anytime a character runs through here towards the Fire Giant buff, Moonrunners will be aware of it. Fire Giant getting warded up here. That's free nom-noms for Sobek if he has the proper kit. He has a Eye of Providence tier 3 already, so he'll be able to deal with that one. Now Kwong going to go for this damage buff across the way. Looking at itemization, Hasten Fatalis finished there on Freya, going right into Ratatouille to increase her ultimate on top of everything else. And not just her basic attacks, Neith's going to go for Malice after the Aussie. A lot of attack speed, a lot of gains there. And Neith, who has yet to die, 6-0 and 6 right now, a fully stacked Heartseeker, she's becoming pretty terrifying. Ao Kwong's going to finish off the Gem of Isolation, getting that slow on top of all of his abilities. So now his tornadoes are not only going to absolutely destroy your HP bar, but they'll slow you in the meantime.
Makes it very difficult to get out, and combined with the squall Hebo, looks like at least Neith is being a good person. And Neith stopped. Neith was shredding him, then she's like, he's not connected. Stopped shooting him, went back to her business. Freya, however, takes the opportunity to come in and lay into the side of her face. But not enough damage there to take down that Neith. Always good to see good sportsmanship come out like that. Neith realizes he was obviously disconnected and just stops hitting him. I like that.
Good girl, Neith. Tornadoes on the ground here, going to take out the damage buff. Not a whole lot they can do about it. And again, with this vision, they can see everyone right now. You see that red ward on the ground in front of the screen. That lets Moonrunners know where the enemy team is and what they're doing. You can see that they're split up. They're looking for opportunity to jump in here and get a pick. I think 1 pick would be enough for them to just take out the Fire Giant. They're going to go up to the right side lane, take away some buffs, steal away the blue buff, give them nothing to farm, and then push the right lane towards that tier 2 tower. That gives them nothing to teleport to and also gives them a very strong map control on the right side of this map. All 5 players, 4 Moonrunners, are going to group up and try to take this tower out. There's also another 1,500 gold for Moonrunners to control, effectively a Gold Fury for them, as we saw a rotation come out here, as the entire team for both sides are in one place, and this could be a big engagement.
Looks like we're going to have it as Moonrunner with their 11,500 gold advantage. Actually going to fall back in the jungle here. They don't want to force an engagement or tower. They're being relatively careful here. They don't want to take any unnecessary risks. Guan Yu just kind of hanging out here. And here he goes with the initiation. Jumps on his horse, riding into the Hebo. Doesn't land the stun on anybody, unfortunately. The Vanish comes out and saves them from the initial hit from Excavate. The bounce back is immediately healed up by Guan Yu, and Hebo goes down. Freya trying to bomb it with her ultimate, very low on HP. That charge spray is definitely a dead Athena. Nothing she can do there. Hercules down to about a third of his HP right now. They're still pushing in. Muzen just gets vaporized by Kwang. Hercules certainly going to go down here, and there he goes. Nobody has fallen yet from Moonrunner. Freya fell back pretty early on, knocked down to about a quarter of her HP. She is the lone survivor of this massacre. And now Moonrunner's pushing in to get the Phoenix and possibly the game.
Going to push it up here as Freya tries to defend, and Banish comes out, going to land on the Guan Yu, but he doesn't really care a whole lot. Towel Saw going to come out pretty soon here. Look at the damage output. There goes the Freya. Bursted down. Polynomiquang a little bit too bursty for her, and now the Minotaur is exposed. Soonest spawn is going to be Athena, and then after that Hebo. But in a 2v5 situation with Fire Giant, they're not going to go for it. They're just going to head on home.
Not taking any risks at all. Moonrunner is making sure they have got every advantage available before they start anything. I can only imagine they're going to fall back, regroup, and probably try to take a Fire Giant. But I don't even know if that's really that viable at this point, seeing as most of Gramercy is back up. By the time they could group up to do a Fire Giant, they're all going to be back up. They had possibly an opportunity to burst down the Minotaur, but decided to wait, play it safe, and just let the Fire Minions pour in.
Yep, they're going to try and just tighten the noose little by little. War of Attrition is a very, very safe strategy for any team to do, especially if you're in the position that Moonrunners is in right now. 15,000 gold, 24,000 experience. Fire Giant is now up and exposed. And with that right lane pushing up, that gives them a great wall of Fire Minions to allow them to get some control of this area. Hercules, Athena on their way here, standing in time. Hercules going to jump in, take some damage, harassment. Fire Giant about half HP. Taunt coming out from Athena. Are they going to leash it or are they going to keep it? They're going to leash this one up, so Fire Giant back to full HP. Here comes initiation. Ao Kuang ultimate still available here. Rock comes through, doing tons of damage, but how much is tons when they're so secure right now? Guan Yu doing some damage here across the way. Hebo forced to retreat. Now going through the tornado is going to take a little damage there on top of the Freya. Goes up to the air. Running Tree still alive right now. Freya tries to go for one gumball. Interrupted. Another gumball. Not going to get it. She gets completely obliterated. Back to the team fight. Ao Kuang forced out here by the Hercules. Mitigate wounds is active. Charge spray will bring him back into the tornadoes. Take some more damage and be slowed there. There is the Ao Kuang ultimate. Going to be avoided by the Athena. Hebo in the back. Not really a place for him to stick his feet into if he had feet. Athena going to go down, and it's going to turn into a 4-for-0 exchange. The Fire Giant is now available. What do you do if you're Gramercy Rifts?
Well, if I'm Gramercy Rifts, a.k.a. Hebo, he knows they're going for the Fire Giant right now, and he's going to try to do something. I mean, he's very limited in what he can possibly do. He doesn't even have an ultimate right now. He's trying to get an opportunity. There's a water spell into Sobek. He's just trying to be irritating, but not risk himself as he's the last line of defense. Sobek was forced out there, but they're still going to get the Fire Giant just by clearing it out normally. They don't even need to use the Hog. Hebo trying desperately to get away now. His ultimate comes back up and gets thrown almost immediately just as an escape. He's got to back up to base, and he's got to help his team defend the right lane because the Fire Minions were pouring in while they were away. And if Muzen hadn't spawned right there to help push him off, the Minnow would have taken a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean, you have to protect that Minotaur as much as you possibly can. Those minions are there. So, you know, at the situation that we're in right now, 32 minutes into the game, 33-11. In fact, 3 times the amount of kills on Moonrunners versus Gramercy Rifts. We have ultimates available. Actually, 8 of the 10 ultimates are available at this point. Ao Kuang's ultimate now just back up. So Hebo, the only one who doesn't have an ultimate. And speaking of Hebo, mid lane going to be forced back here. There is the Atlas on the ground trying to slow them away. But how much is it going to do? Can you really slow down a team that's this far ahead? AMC unable to get in these team fights effectively, just being shut out all the way. Athena forced to use her ultimate defensively here, so not going to have that available for the next big team fight as they force down the mid. Phoenix Charge Spray not going to land there, so got caught under the Atlas. He doesn't care a whole lot. He's pretty tanky at this point. Going to get away from the Phoenix. Still tanking the Phoenix. The Tornado's on the ground. Rocks come out, not doing any damage actually. Everyone is completely unfazed by the rock, and now Hercules, a Mighty Warrior, is going to be burned down by Sobek ultimate possibly. There goes the Freya on the backside. Sobek ultimate not going to be enough. Charge Spray bringing him closer. Ao Kuang ultimate going to disappear. Hebo evaporating him as the Minotaur might get the Sobek and will get him actually as the Stinger comes out from Lunatic. The slow comes out, the Honey's on the ground, the Hive come out, the Swarm comes through, but they don't really care about Dr. Bees in the well as the Minotaur is their main primary goal, and they're going to take it out here for the win. Moonrunners 37-12, Squid.
The legends say that once upon a time there was a Hebo there, but I'm not sure if there really ever was a Hebo, as he just got run over
the damage
by the Ao Kuang explosion. So much damage. Speaking of the damage, 37,000 coming out of Ao Kuang. I mean, that's just... The next highest is 22. It's not even close. That's late game Ao Kuang.
Ao Kuang number 1 there, 17-3 as far as his kill to death ratio. Polynomicon doing work there. Zhang Kui not getting any healing out. Of course, his ultimate no longer heals his teammates, and that is the only stat recorded for this screen. Well, Zhang Kui sitting at a mighty 0. It's been a while since anyone's ever seen that, or ever. 8,000 healing on Guan Yu, however, a very, very strong support across the way. 11-0 and 11 on Neith, dropping 18,000 damage herself, so a lot of damage output and good control, teamfight presence, a lot of great positioning. I mean, overall, Moonrunners played this fantastically. And like we were talking about in the picking stage, Squid, the fact that Gramercy's Rift's synergy, team comp, it wasn't really there. I mean, you have AMC, Freya, and Hebo, all characters that need to be protected. And Athena and Hercules just didn't have enough disruption to get there. A single taunt, a knock-up, and a stun. It's not going to be enough to protect characters like that. And you can see AMC sitting at 15,000 damage. Hebo, 12,000, being beat out by Hercules. And it looks like Sobek was pretty close to beating out Hebo as well. So Hebo just could not get in on the team fights. He was too squishy and too short-ranged to beat out the overall zoning control that Moonrunners had. You had the tornadoes on the ground. They had the Gemma backing them up, so they were slowing if they're in the tornadoes or had the effect on them. Neith was rooting them to the ground. Sobek was disrupting them. Zhang Kui was stunning them. Guan Yu was slowing them, lowering their protections and stunning them. Across the board, Moonrunners had a better team fight, and it definitely paid out in droves in the mid-game where Gramercy Rifts just could not find their ground to stand on.
It's just really difficult, like you said, with the composition they have, especially when Athena, their only real tank. I mean, Hercules is a bit of a beef man, but Athena's their real hard tank, their guardian for the team. She just got destroyed, stuck at level 15, 0-9. She just couldn't get, until it was way too late, couldn't get to that saturation point that tanks have where they're just beefy enough to actually take hits for their teams. And a lot of times she was just the first one to get burned down in a fight because she was so easily focused, especially by the Ao Kuang ultimate, that since he was so farmed so early, was more than enough to destroy 2/3, 3/4 of even her HP. And with her out of the picture, it was no big difficulty to focus down the Freya, the Muzan, and the Hebo.
Yeah, it was pretty straightforward for them. They played it fantastically, and I think, they deserve to go on to the semifinals to see what they can do at this point in time. So we're going to cut to a brief break, guys, as we get the next match ready to go on screen. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you guys have yet to check out the Divine Intervention Tournament, it is a thing you can donate to for charity. You see the in chat there. If you donate today, you have a chance at winning at a God Pack or 800 gem code. Minimum donation is $1, so you have $1 to spare for charity. Everything goes directly to charity. It's an event hosted by us here at Tier Monster, and it goes to American Red Cross to support the Disaster Relief Fund. We did just have that huge typhoon in the Philippines that has devastated a lot of lives, and we want to give back through playing video games. It's the best way that we know how. So donate to that, guys. There's a lot of things you can win if you donate. Not only are you entered into the raffle for the Steer Series events, the tournament as well in December, and the T-shirts, gem packs, God packs. But we're also doing a giveaway today. If you want to donate today and make that your contribution, you'll be able to win a lot of things, including a God pack and 800 gem code. So definitely head over there and check that out. The link is in chat for you. We're going to cut to a brief break, and we'll be right back with the next game on screen. Stick around. Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. Oh, this? You want to know how you could win all this and much, much more, huh? Let's get started.